Hi, welcome back to Hey Calli. I've got another question that I received from a colleague and thought it would be good to share. Not just the question, but the answer I provided. So, the question, I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but it had to do with employee appreciation at work. And the question came to me because I think the person expected or wanted more in the way of leadership expression of appreciation through work events. There was discussion around, oh, years ago, there were, dinners, there were celebrations, there were offsites, there were, award ceremonies and such. More in the way of perks provided in front of others, things like that. And so the question was, shouldn't there be more of that? Isn't that significant? And my answer was, in classic attorney style, maybe or possibly. I think it depends. For myself, and I think for a lot of folks that I've worked with over the years, I'm not at work for awards. I'm at work because I work for a living. And as much as I've enjoyed, fortunately, the work I've done over the years and the places I've worked over the years and the people I've worked with, if I could choose, I would choose not to work. And I think that I'm probably not alone. I think, you've got the classic scenario of I just won the lottery, right? Would you quit your job? Yeah, I think many people would. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are other things, whether it's spending time with family or friends or ourselves or doing philanthropic things that benefit the community, whatever it is, travel, things we do instead of getting up and going to work every day or getting up and getting in front of the computer every day if you work remotely, whatever it is. It would be incredibly freeing not to have to work. And many folks out there don't have to. I have always had to work. So that's what I'm there to do. And I measure my work satisfaction in part by how much of the objectives put in front of me I achieve. And that could just be me. I don't think so, though. So I think it depends. The folks who are motivated by the awards and the employee engagement activities, those are important. And I think those things should, if they are motivating and the resources are there to have those things go on at work, then it's probably a good idea. But not everyone is motivated by them. So if you are a leader looking to motivate, I think you really have to consider the personality types of the folks on your team and ask yourself, am I doing this for me or am I doing this for them? Or am I doing this for the company? What is the objective? I think that's the question you really have to ask. Some people are actually put off by public shows of appreciation. They find it embarrassing. They don't want to participate. They find it an imposition on personal time, especially if it's done after hours, things like that. And, that seems like, bad spirited in some instances, and maybe it is. But in other instances, these are just folks who worked all day and want to go home. They don't want to do something after work. This sort of thing doesn't resonate with them. So I think as a leader, if you're asking the question, you really have to consider what are the motivational factors of the folks on your team. What are you trying to achieve? And then for oneself, if you're thinking about coaching up and telling your leadership, hey, I need more of this to feel valued and to ultimately perform better, I think it's the latter piece of what I just said that's significant. To ultimately perform better. If I feel appreciated, I will do better. That might be the point that you want to drive home, because your leadership will probably be looking at it as motivation towards better performance or goals achieved. So consider that as you contemplate employee appreciation, regardless of your position. Thanks so much, and like and subscribe.